Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Jade Cocoon. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and in our last episode, we found ourselves a brand new sword. I did a bit of experimenting with it while the last episode was processing, and let me tell you, it is friggin' awesome. First of all, look at it. That is amazing. Okay, that is the Monado, except it's Indian. And with an 80% chance to poison every time I attack. Now, this game just got a whole heck of a lot easier if I can just poison my enemies on a whim. And as a nice touch, you're probably going to see a lot more collaboration between me and my team. Like, I can set the enemies up, my team can knock them down again. There is a slight problem though. If the enemies die due to their poison, as opposed to wounds inflicted by the minions, then the minions don't get any EXP. It was me who did the poisoning, so it was me who did the killing, and I don't get EXP for killing things. But nevertheless, this is amazing! Like, I've never seen that sword before. I've never even heard of it. And now it's mine. And it arrived at just the right time, too. We are footsore, weary, hungry. We have got miles to go before we sleep. And here the game has just given us a leg up. It's like a little ray of hope, you know? And it's weird how a little thing like a random drop could cheer you up, right? But especially when it's one you don't have to bash your head against the wall to collect. Oh, and you don't have to chase me, green guy. I already stole your stuff. I'm out. Oh, wow. I don't know if I want to fight these guys. Especially not you, Dogman. I've just seen you there. Now, the Hulk things tend to establish perimeter, so I should be okay, but... Screw it, Raiders time! Oh, don't put a loading screen there, G. Come on, game. Alright, let's go. Oh, figs, I'm stuck on the level geometry. There we go. Okay. So long, suckers! Man, that little sequence has also cheered me up and brought a bit of light to my day. Listening to this music has helped too. I know I talked about it extensively in the last episode, but this music is wonderful. In fact, I looked up the composer for the game and the other things he's done. He's worked on a few other games, among them Katamari Damacy and a little game called Earthbound. That's an amazing range! Oh, and forget you, bug guy. I'm going this way. I don't want any more combat until I get to the next area. Which is actually right here, so... I guess I'm good to go now. Oh yeah! Yeah, following on from my hypothesis that every forest in this game is based off somewhere in the world, I'd say that this is Cambodia. And I'd like to think that I sound learned and wise by knowing where Angkor Wat is, but I only know it from playing Eternal Darkness. But like this screen especially is straight up modelled after some of those overgrown temples. Like the one that they used for add-on stage in Street Fighter Alpha 3. Are you kidding me, game? The ending was right here this whole time. Also, again, I like how it looks like a cocoon. That's the theme that's more prevalent in this game than I really remember it being. Possibly because the first time I played this game, I didn't overanalyze everything to find potential hidden themes, you know? Oh, it's this music! I immediately remember this music, because this is the music that plays during the post-game. Surprise, there's a post-game, it's a pet management JRPG. But we'll get to that when we get to it, because right now, plot is happening. And that memory from a past life bit is interesting, because I don't remember the game relying so heavily on reincarnation before, or again after this point, so why bring it up at all? I suppose it serves to explain why the temple reacts to Mabu being here, and just lets us in without question. Oh, and that is a super good bit of framing. One of my absolute favourite angles is the shot from inside the room, or the vault, or whatever, as it opens up and reveals the hero outside. It's like a trunk shot, but without actually being one, so nobody can get mad at me for being lazy enough to use a trunk shot. Yes, much like my writing or game design, I can look at stuff and say that things are or are not shot well, but I could never direct myself. I have got no idea what I'm doing. Also, I really hope you guys enjoyed being outside, because that is the last we're going to see of it. The rest of this game, oh, and the entirety of the sequel, actually, they take place inside this building. And speaking of directorial stuff, I'd have left the door visible during the fade out, and then faded out separately.
Will have nightmares.
Like, whether it's good or not, I don't know, but that's what I do.
Before they are redeemed, the sun will grow dark.
I did a joke about this in my Welchers video, and absolutely nobody got it. And given that the Promised Land is usually the end goal of a pilgrimage, and the fact that we just completed Dungeon 4 of 4, you might think that we're almost done with this game. But you would be wrong. It is the start of basically what I would call the third act, so we got that going for us if nothing else. Oh, there's honeycomb design on the floor. That's clever. I don't know that I would call a hive a cocoon necessarily, but hell, I got the reference. Game, are you hiding your NPC appearance flags with dialogue boxes? I think you are, aren't you? I only know that because I played this part of the game to death when I was a kid, so I know what's in the other two rooms. And we are going to establish the hell out of this doorway. There is going to be zero doubt in anyone's mind that there were 3 doors, and then Levant picked the red one. That was a hell of a loading screen. You're going to throw a stack of text at me now, aren't you? Probably, because it is a chapter end, and the start of the next part of the game. So, while the game's doing that, let's talk about something else. Man, everybody in this game is the reincarnation of somebody else. What's up with that? I wonder if they ever did a story where a couple died somehow, became reincarnated, and fell in love all over again. Like, that's a bittersweet story. I mean, you're doomed to die, as are we all, but you're going to find and fall in love with the same kindred spirit every time. Although isn't that how the red string works in Japanese culture? Either way, it's a really nice idea that you are fated to be with somebody, and there is nothing that can separate you and your partner. Oh, and is that a plot hole? Why would you make the goddess of death a midwife? That is the exact opposite of her job. Also, I think that's the payoff for something Garai said right about the very start of the game. She talked a lot about how she knew Levant's dad, but didn't talk about how she knew him. If she was there when Levant was born, it figures that she'd have met him and talked to him before he vanished. Quite what she was doing with his stuff is another matter, but probably best you don't think about it. And don't look directly at the plot holes, you guys. It only makes them angrier. By the way, I hope you're enjoying the entire New Testament of the Nagi Bible. Like, anyone else get the feeling that somebody wrote out all this lore, figuring the game was going to be longer than it ended up being, and all this stuff was just what was left after the loading screens? Hold up, how can Mabu be the chosen one of light? Everything thus far has indicated it to be me, and the plot only makes sense if it's me. Translation team, did you screw up here? Yeah, alright, it's fine. Just keep going, keep saying words, and we'll get back to the script eventually. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that they modeled the 4th wall in this particular room? They absolutely didn't need to do that, but there it is. Wow! Look at that actual Photoshop lens flare. That is textbook. This has come up in a couple of my games now. If you have to put a loading screen in the middle of your text dump, maybe consider shortening your text dump. You know? Holy crap, and now we're playing a treasure game! Welcome to Gunstar Heroes, everybody, this is awesome! Or maybe not. because we're already one down. Again, I suspect the budget ran out before we got here, and when we get to the next point of the game, you'll kinda see why. Although with that said, where did it actually come from? I mean, I suspect this is something the game will explain away as we go through the rest of it, but, like, did me give it to us? Was the power within us the whole time? Yeah, see? Now the cards are on the table and the stakes have been raised. Like, there's few ways of making you root for the hero better than just burning all of their stuff. But we do get these guys to help us, however. They're pretty cool. And it's a shame I turned off the voices, simply because these two have the best, worst VA work you've ever heard. Although I suspect it's the same actress, just pitched up a bit for the shorter one. Like, to look at them, you would expect them to have a soft, gentle voice. Like, maybe give them a non-regional accent or a bizarre sub-African one like Fran from Final Fantasy XII. But they opted to go for what I can only describe as a very posh English accent, spoken by somebody who has never actually heard one to be able to copy it. And on top of that, it's a really high-pitched voice too. Like one of my friends, Lynod, actually, he does an impression of an English person, which is just him going, "Oh no, my name's Chester, I like tea, I do." And that's actually not far off what those two handmaidens sound like. It's amazing and dreadful. Oh well. So before we cut the video, let's show off the purification chamber. I want to collect the guys I caught on the way here, and to show off something vaguely interesting. Ra is written in a very cold and aloof way. She is not here to help me or to serve me. She's here for the chosen one of light, which happens to be me. If that makes sense. Whatever. I'm going to sort out my fireflies, and we'll be back soon. So until next time, goodbye.